Hi, welcome to Between the Covers TV. I'm Stephanie Larkin, owner of Red Penguin Books, a publishing company that works with authors of all types and genres. I myself am an author, a ghostwriter, a book coach. If you have a book inside and you just want to unleash your inner author, please visit us at Red Penguin Books. Do you know statistics say that 90% of the population wants to write a book? If you're in that 90%, and I'll bet you are, please give a call and let's get that book started. A huge shout out to Don Pablo Coffee, our sponsor for the evening. Don Pablo Coffee is what can keep all of our authors awake. So thank you so much to Don Pablo Coffee. And please welcome our guests today. So nice to see you. We have with us author Alma Thomas, who I have a stack of books by Alma, so I don't know if an hour is going to be enough to get through all these books.
We'll try.
We'll try. And Sabrina Sarro is our future author. She's like toes into that MFA program, so she's going to have a stack of books here. And she's going to, since you're like in the throes of it, you can give us all those hints as to writing. But since you are here, and I'm so glad, we're going to give them each a Between the Covers TV Club membership card. It's like a library card.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, what it says on the card, and by the way, if you go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com, you can join our book club also. And what do you do if you're in the book club? Well, you get to come here and be in the audience and get some wine. So we'll be pouring for all of our audience members in just a moment. We also have a library full of all of our Between the Covers TV authors. And we have all of their books here. And because you have a library card now, you can borrow them at any time. Because we want to spread the love. So please make sure that you read. I'm sure I don't have to tell you two to read.
No.
But keep reading. Read, encourage other people to read, write, encourage other people to write, because we've got a good club going here, and that's what we want to do.
Yay, of course.
But we were thinking back, it's January, looking back on the last year, and there were some huge trends in books that I'm thinking are going to continue on. So let's see what these trends were in books for last year. I think we have a slide for that, Bobby? Yeah, there it is. Our first huge trend last year was political books. Political books pretty much walked away with the booksellers. They were the biggest sellers that there were, and I am sure they're going to continue. Even Bill Clinton ended up writing, you know, a mystery book just to get in on that. I didn't read it. Did you read it?
No, I didn't read it.
I didn't read it.
I didn't even know it existed.
You didn't even know it existed?
Now
Okay. I knew it existed, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to read it.
Awesome.
I definitely want to read it.
Awesome.
Me too.
The next big category that's growing is audiobooks. In Scandinavia, audiobooks are actually bigger than print books. And, you know, I get it because I'm always in the car.
Right,
I listen to podcasts, but if you looked at that thing, I wrote that if you go to audible.com, they are giving a free audiobook right now, and no obligation. They just want to make sure, you know, see if you like it. And I am going over there, and I'm getting that Michelle Obama book.
Yes.
That's what I am doing. You can get that for free on Audible, and I mean, I'm dying to read it anyway, but it's read by Michelle Obama.
Oh, I want to get that.
Okay, so
Awesome.
please
Go
go to
Michelle.
audible.com and get Michelle Obama's Becoming, which of course is the number one book of 2018.
Which is awesome.
Absolutely the
Awesome.
number one book. So we're definitely going to be having an episode just devoted to that. But all of you viewers, be storming. You have to wait an hour because you got to watch us. Okay, but after that, go over to audible.com, sign up for your free trial. I mean, I don't care if you cancel after that, but I mean, it is cool to be driving and listening. But that's a really cool thing. And the other thing that's trending right now are celebrity book clubs. Like Reese Witherspoon has a celebrity book club, and Emma Watson has like a huge feminist celebrity book club. I'm sure, surprised you're not a member of that one.
No, I'm
yeah,
not.
like they do all these book recommendations and everything, and they're, you know, it's another way that, you know, our celebrities are getting very involved in, you know, getting their opinions out there. They're not just a pretty face on screen. And these are two women who are doing like a book club, and you know, they're recommending things and they're sharing, and what I think is the coolest thing is they're admitting, because it used to be a big secret that you read books, you know, like
Right.
everyone thought you were a nerd if you read books.
Right, right.
Well, no,
Exactly.
it's so cool if you're reading
Yes,
books.
yes.
It's the coolest thing. And if these young stars like Emma Watson is like the hottest thing, if she's reading books,
We
all
all
the
need to
teenagers
read
we
look
need
at
to
both.
read books, okay? So it's totally, you have to be out there reading books. Now, we do have a game, and our winner is going to win a free book from our author here. And so let's see, it's a call-in game. Sorry, all of you here in the room, no. No. Every week we do a call-in game, and I have a book quote, and people call in. And, you know, I'm a little discouraged because the last couple of book quotes, nobody got it right. I was a little miffed. I think higher of our audience than that. So you will see when the slide goes up for this week's quote that I gave you 4 choices. You really have to be able to figure this one out. Bobby, do you have the slide with our quote for today? There it is. Do you know this quote? And here's the phone number, 516-945-9099. And the quote is, "We've all got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are." And your 4 choices are Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, and To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Please, my viewers, do not let me down. Somebody know where this quote was from. It's a multiple choice question. You have a 25% chance of getting it right. Am I hearing a phone ringing, Bobby? I'm not sure. I was hoping. It's my wishful thinking that I'm hearing phones ringing. But remember, all of you in the room, no whispering. No, you could just hold up numbers. You could hold up a certain number of fingers if you want, but you don't get to play. We're hoping our viewers know. And like we said, it's a stinking 25% chance. Do you two know?
Yeah.
You know, okay.
Yeah, I do think so.
You think you know? Okay. I tried to pick 4 choices that it sounded like
I
it
need to
could have-
phone a friend.
You need to phone a friend. I don't know. You seem to have all your friends in this audience right now. If these cameras were turned, you would see she's got a lot of friends. I don't know, friends. I'm not going to let you say it out loud, but do you know the answer to that question?
Okay.
My husband knows the answer to that question. My husband writes the questions, by the way.
I know the answer.
Every week, my husband writes the questions. He knows the answers to the questions. That's the way it goes. After the break. So we're going to go to a break right now, and after that, we have another guest author who is on the other side of the country, so we're going to have her Skype in. Let's take a quick break for commercial, and we'll be right back.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and Head Penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality.
Me llaman Tan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Okay. Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, we haven't gotten a caller yet with the answer to our question, but I have my fingers crossed that someone is going to gamble with that 25% chance, or they're also busy getting the Michelle Obama book for free.
Right. Never know.
I mean, I told them to wait until the show was over.
You should have told them at the end, though.
They were too
I know you're right.
excited for it.
I know
They were too
you're right.
excited.
I was excited to tell them it was free.
They were too excited.
I know, because I wanted my phone.
I know you were like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone?"
I know. I wanted to start calling now. Would they notice that I have my phone here?
And admittedly, people can watch this stream after the fact. In fact, I'm going to ask our viewers, if you're watching us, whether you're watching us live or after the fact, please share this video all over the place. We are so fortunate that every week on our show we have thousands of views all over the country, which is shown by the fact that we have authors who are Skyping in from all over the country and all over the world. So please share this video so that we can get people reading and clicking on that free Michelle Obama book all over the country, but not while we're watching the show.
Fields, having problems, technical problems. I'm on Skype right now, and I was talking to Bobby.
Oh, I think I might hear our author coming in. Bobby, is that our author guest on the phone?
From this point,
I don't know who she's talking to, but
all this technology. But
I don't know who she's talking to either.
I'm on Skype, so.
Well, I guess in the meantime, we'll just talk to who's here with us.
26447.
oh, I did. Oh, I'm not going to be a sloppy second, am I?
You're not. You are so not
You could
sloppy
never be that.
second. See, I actually figured we'd do our Skype guest first, just because
Save the best.
save the best for last, and technological problems being what they are, because there's always technological problems.
I know.
So while our directors work out the technological problems, you could see that we poured some beverages while we were gone. Two of us who are heart healthy and are having red wine.
Yes.
And one of us who is
Flavonoids.
body healthy and is staying away from the wine. But that's okay. But while we're waiting, before we even get to the books, since I am so fortunate to be sitting here with writers, tell me, both of you, what inspires you? Like, I don't mean like a theme or a particular thing, but you know, like your place. Do you have a place that you have, like I have bamboo on my windowsill, and I've been trying for this living thing at my own desk. I have a fish tank, and I have some
Nice.
natural lighting going on. That's what I'm trying for. What about the two of you? Anything special that kind of makes your place, or can you write in a Starbucks? I mean, some people like to write in a Starbucks. And if you listen to the other patrons in Starbucks, you'll get some serious,
Inspiration, maybe.
oh my gosh.
Some
No.
serious characters.
Okay, the other day, I had to bring one of my children to StatMD. Okay, if any of you want to write a book and you have no idea what the topic is, sit in StatMD's waiting room. Go to kind of a borderline neighborhood late at night. Okay, so that's where I was. I had kind of Googled, because you know we had a sick kid and it was late at night, and they don't all stay open late at night. You know which ones stay open late at night? The ones in the kind of borderline neighborhoods. So there we were, And I was sitting there in the waiting room, and I was overhearing all sorts of conversation, and they had to come out and wipe the blood off the floor several times while we were waiting. Oh yeah. And I was thinking, I should have brought a notebook. I could have wrote so much. So if you're looking for inspiration, my fiction writers out there, well, maybe my nonfiction writers out there, you know, sit in a Stat MD late at night. But what does it for you? Because neither of you were writing about blood and guts.
No.
Although now they're thinking. Now they're thinking, where do you like to be? Where do you get your juices flowing?
I like to listen to music.
Ooh, okay.
When,
you don't find
I
it distracting when you're writing?
No, it really, and it depends on what I'm writing. Like when I'm writing my inspirational books, I listen to my inspirational music. And
Okay.
and I'm writing, and right now I'm working on a contest, and it's called My Funny Valentine. So I was listening to love music last night, and I was like, and the characters was doing their own thing.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I started saying, okay, characters, that's not what I wanted you to do. The characters started having their own mind and everything, so.
You know, I don't write fiction personally. I write nonfiction. I ghostwrite for clients. But I have heard with fiction writers that happens.
Yeah,
that the characters kind of take on their own. And as I said, I've never done it, but you know, I've heard that characters all of a sudden you're like, really? Is that what you thought you were going to do with that man, or whatever?
Yeah.
So is that what happened?
Yeah, it really did. I was like going one direction, and the
Interesting.
characters had their own mind and their own. And I was like, I'm not messing, going back and forth with y'all tonight. I'm going to bed. Y'all just go ahead in the book and do what y'all gonna do.
So your next book, because the books I've read by you were, I read these two nonfiction books. I read Dream Killers, which is, yes, loved this. My poor husband had to hear me quoting from your book last night, and I was like, you tell them. And now she said this, you tell them. And my husband's like, it's 2 a.m, could we go to bed?
Goodness.
This seriously happened. And I read From the Waiting Room to the Recovery Room. Wow. So I did not read your fiction, and then you also brought for me that I know you were a co-writer on Love, Marriage, and Divorce, and I didn't get a chance to read that one yet, but next. But you know, it's funny, now this next book you're telling me is a fiction book that you're working on.
Yes.
Okay, so that's very different from these. These are
Yes.
more, you know, inspirational, motivational, you can do it, yeah, knock them down, don't you? Yeah, ooh, yeah. But you know what I loved? I especially heard it, well, you know, it was interesting, and I'm talking writing technique also, and I'm so glad Sabrina's here, because, you know, she knows writing technique. Here's what happened with Alma's books. She was writing this book, and she was like just a few chapters from the end, and then she kind of stopped, and it wasn't finishing. I read all this in the book. And the reason that she was kind of stuck was because she had to write this book.
Yes.
And we've all felt that, like, you have to write the book that has to get out.
Yes.
You know, there's a book that has to get out, and you were just a few chapters away from the end, and you had to write this one first. So this entire book, like, takes place, like, here.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Like,
And then when you were finished this book, which you said kind of poured out of you, like almost, you know, at one sitting. Not that anybody could sit long enough to write an entire book, but it poured out of you. And when this was out, then this fell into place.
That fell into place, exactly.
What a cool story. I was reading about that, and I wanted to ask you about that.
Yes, what happened is that I began to write from the waiting room to the recovery room when my son passed away. So I began to write the book in the waiting room when the doctor came and told me they did all they could, and they couldn't save him.
I am so sorry.
And,
what a heartbreak.
So
I can't even.
So after that, I started writing a book, and I kept telling everybody, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write a book. And it was years I was writing a book, and I wrote it, I rewrote. And then one day, someone for a magazine asked me to write an article. So I was going to use something I had already, so I was going through, and I was sitting, I was a camp director, and I was sitting in a room full of like 60 children. You wouldn't believe it. I was sitting in a room with 60 children, and Dream Killer dropped in my spirit, and I said, Dream Killer? That's a guy, what are you talking about? And he said, you can't finish from the waiting room to the recovery room because you have not yet recovered. That you allow people, places, and things to kill your dreams. And I began to think about that and to ponder and to go back over my life. And I saw where the dream killers started. You know, like when we're young,
Yes.
you know, we encourage, like we all are dreamers. Like we sit at home and we dream about when you're going to get married, where you're going to go to school, all these different things. And some way along the line, people tell you that, you know, stop daydreaming so much, stop dreaming so much. You got to go out and get a real job. You got to do, and you stop dreaming. And then I started to look over the things in my life that was stopping me from living my best life. And I was like, okay, doubt, low self-esteem, that there was a little girl inside of me that I never allowed her to grow up, that was thriving on the negativity, the things that people said, you'll never be able to do this, you'll never be able to do that, you're only going to amount to this. And I had internalized it, but not realized it.
Right. Yes.
So
absolutely.
when I began to write Dream Killers, I mean, I cried. People thought I was losing my mind. It was like, okay, she finally, this is it. This is finally, it's been years. We knew it was coming. It's finally it. She done lost her mind, because I was crying and screaming and writing and crying and just relieving all that stuff, releasing. I was forgiving people that talked about me when I was 5 and 6, and forgiving people and releasing all that negativity out of me, and realized that, then I had to look at me and realize that I'm a procrastinator. That I always think that, and that's one of your dream killers, procrastinating. Like thinking that you're always going to do it tomorrow. Right. I'm going to write tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow. Everything I can do tomorrow. And I was like, oh, this is due. I could do it tomorrow. So I'm a procrastinator, which is a dream killer. Doubt. And then there's people who come along. There are people who are intentional dream killers, and there are people who are unintentional dream killers. Now, when you go to your friends, like I'm a person, I like to share everything. You know, like you with that get the free book. That's me. Like, you can do it. Like, I'm everybody.
But not now. We're watching the show.
Not now. But I'm everybody. So I'm everybody's cheerleader. So I expected people to want the same things for me.
And they don't.
But they don't. And then you try to and then, so people, like I said, they're intentional and unintentional.
Yep.
Like the intentional
How'd you know that I put my finger in that page?
You did?
I did, because my favorite lines in the whole book, because it just crystallized. There are accidental dream killers. Those are individuals who might really love and care about you, but unknowingly they will speak a word of discouragement that will deter you from following your dreams. You know, they might say, how can you do that? It's too hard, or why are you even trying? But you also had the intentional dream killers, and where's the line about the intentional dream killers? You know it probably better than I do. Yes. The other type of dream killers are the deliberate dream killers. These are individuals who are miserable in their own unproductive lives and don't want to see anyone else prosper. Non-believers are people who don't believe that you can accomplish your dreams. Many non-believers have given up on their own dreams. That's so true. Because if you're like, I'm going to do this, and they all like already threw in the towel, they would rather you stay wallowing with them.
So, yeah. So
they don't want you to be successful. Not everybody really wants you to be successful in this world.
No, they don't. And you feel like that you find out that you have people who celebrate you and people who only tolerate you.
And some people think, you know, they say that they're celebrating you, but they're celebrating you as long as you're on the same level.
Right.
They don't want you to go to that next level. They really don't. No, you just crystallized it, and that's just amazing. We're going to take a short commercial break, and then we're going to talk about the waiting room, because there's so much in there, too, okay? Yay. We'll be right back.
The sun is getting warmer. When we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border. When we're floating up like helium.
Do you have a book, either in your head or on your desk, just waiting to get out to anxious readers? Hi, I'm Stephanie Larkin, author, book developer, and head penguin at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company specializing in books of all genres and publishing in all formats, including digital, audible, and print books. From business books to romance, memoirs to mysteries, our authors have complete control over their books from start to print. We'll help get your book to booksellers all around. Major booksellers such as Amazon, Apple, Kobo, Walmart, even libraries and bookstores around the world. We believe in our authors. So call or email today to get your free publisher's packet to get started. Just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and get your book out there and into the hands of your readers. At Red Penguin Books, you call all the shots. So call us today and turn your dreams into a reality. Sure what's going on. Welcome back to Between the Covers. We were just toasting while you were gone. Huh? So we've got Dream Killers that was written in the middle of From the Waiting Room, and then you finally moved out of the waiting room.
Finally moved out of the waiting room,
Yeah.
and was able to do what I love. And what happened is that I turned my pain through my writing and being healed to a point, because you never totally healed, but
No, you're never totally healed,
to
but
a point,
a functional.
yeah, to a functional. So I turned my pain into my passion, and I started a scholarship and my son's honor. So at the end of writing those books, I was able to also start the scholarship. And over the last, I think it's been 4 or 5 years, I've given out 15 scholarships to.
Look at that. Listen, is there a web address or something that you could tell our viewers to go to? Do I have I have a website for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. What's the website?
The website is almathomascollinsministries.com.
almathomascollinsministries.com. Bobby, do we have a slide for Alma Thomas that has her web address and such? I would love for our viewers to know that, so that if you want to be part of the scholarship effort or read more, get some books, and get to meet you more and more, there we go. Wow. All right. So there's some of your books. Okay. And some information. Also, you could always go to betweenthecoverstv.com. All of our authors there have their links and whatnot, and they are always posted there, today and every day. So go and visit and get involved. This scholarship, 15 scholarships you've given.
That's a lot of
Yes,
scholarships.
I've given out 15 scholarships. They're all previously have been in the Copiague School District, because that's where my son attended. But this year I'm going to open it up to different schools. But I was primarily doing
course, of
Copiague,
course. Well,
that's
it's in
where
his
he
name,
graduated. It's in his name,
absolutely.
yes. The Tyshawn Thomas Friends and Family Scholarship.
Oh my God. That's fantastic. Wow. So this dark valley that nobody in the world would ever choose to go through. You're on the other side, and you're writing, and you're giving, and you have turned this horrific into such a blessing.
Yes.
Wow.
It's for, when you're going through it, you don't realize it. But everything we go through is for a reason and a purpose. And my purpose, I found my why and my purpose. And all of this is to encourage other people that no matter what circumstance or situation that you're born in or find yourself in, you can overcome it.
Yes.
That because the darkest day of my life, I thought I wasn't going to make it. And through prayer and faith and my friends.
And this
my family.
fabulous group of people here.
Friends in my family, in my church, in my faith, I was able to overcome it, and now I can tell anybody that there's nothing that you can't do.
You hear that?
And
Nothing you can't
nothing
do.
that you can't do, and that you have to visualize yourself doing it. And I was going to tell you quick that the first time I saw my name in print was actually through Love, Marriage and Divorce. That was the first time I saw
this
my
one
name.
Here, yes, that I
yes,
didn't
that's the
get to
first time
read.
I saw
Okay.
my name in
There it is.
print.
There's her name.
And when I saw my name in print, it did for me what birthing a baby. You know how when you go through all the pain and the struggle,
Nothing like
and
being an
the
author and
hours of
seeing your
labor,
name.
and the hours of labor, and when you hold that baby in your hand, you forget about everything you went through
Yep. So this
to
was the first
deliver.
baby.
So that
When
was
you hold that first baby
when
up,
I held this baby, when I held this baby in my hand, it showed me, because as in Dream Killers you saw, one of the things that I went through is doubt, and saying who's gonna read it, who's gonna want to know my story. So going through that doubt and doubting that I was able to do it, and when I saw my name in print, I was like, I'm an author.
You are an author.
I was like, I am an author. And then when I did Dream Killers, and it impacted so many people's lives, that so many people realized that there were some untapped dreams they had in them. There were some dreams that they had rocked to sleep. Sometimes that when you go so long and not getting what you want, you rock it to sleep. You silently tell yourself you don't want it anymore. And I was able to awaken that dreamer in some people. So that's it made it everything that I've gone through worth it. If I could just encourage one person, empower one person, motivate one person, that you can make it through whatever storm that you're in. You got to just ride it out.
That's
You got to
right.
ride out your storm. And that's what I've done. I've just
did it.
rode out my storm.
That's right.
And so
And now your name's on a whole lot of books.
so now my name is on a whole lot of books.
We got a whole pile of books over here with your name on it.
Yeah, now I just started having babies and can't stop.
Oh my gosh! And then you'll have to be back on the show when you got this fiction book. Once these characters figure out what they're doing, I think they're doing skanky things. That's what I'm thinking they're doing.
No, I stopped them. I was like, no.
No.
I got to put my name on this. And, I'm a minister and everything. I don't want people like, what was the minister doing? That's why I'm telling everybody that this is water in case you're watching me live.
Look, I opened the bottle of smart
Don't
water.
y'all call nobody and say y'all saw Minister Alma at the studio drinking. This is
She's
water.
being a good girl, although Sabrina and I are
The
going
two
for
of
the
them,
hard
they're
health
having
thing.
communion.
Yes. But nope, I poured the water myself. So you have to like slap your little characters there. No.
Yeah,
no,
tell
no.
them to get back in line.
Well, maybe you are playing skanky music.
Whoa.
Maybe you better tone down that music a little bit. Maybe you better put on like some Mozart or something to just calm everybody. And you're just sitting there saying, calm the heck down, everybody. Some platonic music.
Yeah.
I don't know what music is the most platonic. There's got to be some. Did you see on Facebook that video when they had that whole silly thing about baby, it's cold outside? And then there was that guy who did the video, telling her to go home, really? We're not going to do anything tonight. You need to be playing that song. Go home, go home. Nothing's going on here in this book tonight. So this book might take a little while because these characters have minds of their own. Yeah. But I am so glad we have an inspirational author to talk to our future budding author. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then she's going to find out, what our new author over there is up to. We'll be right back.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
You can do it.
Welcome back to Between the Covers.
Yes.
Well, we are so thrilled. We have inspiration. I'm like blinded by the sunlight over here. And we also have a budding author. Sabrina is a former student of mine, and now she is applying for her MFA in creative writing. I am so excited. So tell us, what do you love to write? What are you hoping to write? What's hard to write? You're right there in the throes of it, so tell us everything.
I love to write about race, sex, being queer. So I just really like to write about all of my beautiful intersectional identities. I love think pieces, and I just love memoir, narrative.
She loves it all.
I love it all.
She's like with a big brush stroke over the whole world.
Yes,
I want to bring it all in here
I
and
love
write about it all.
gender, yeah. So
you're writing more of a non-fictional perspective. You don't have characters who are doing skanky things in the side room.
well,
Not that you do. Not that you do.
No, they're not.
I said they're not. Not that you do.
yeah, I think I'm more of like a macro writer in some ways. But I really like writing about trauma and just trauma on a macro level and on a micro level. Gender and sexuality are really big to me.
Do you like writing reflection off of pieces, kind of a la journalism? Here's something that happened, and here's, you know, a take on it. Or do you like writing about the whole issue as a whole without bringing in the new, you know, like...
Yeah, I think I really like coalescing big global social justice frameworks and sort of talking about how those have intersected with my personal life and my communities.
Fabulous.
So yeah, so I love like various nonfiction writers, but I really have been gravitating for the last couple of 3 years, like I'd say the last 3 years, to authors of color and to queer identified, non-binary
fantastic.
writers. Yeah, and it's been wonderful.
Really?
Yes.
So who are you reading? I mean, I know you brought one, but you know, I know you have many other authors. This is, you know, one thing that you told me about this, and I was like, oh man, I have to read that.
Incredible. I just have to say
this is going to be our book of the week, because I definitely have to read this.
Kiersey Lehman's Heavy. I just finished it, but I'm actually in the process of rereading
it.
For the second time.
I had to read the book description 3 times. I mean, never mind the book. You know, you sent it to me, and I was like, whoa, I need to read it. And then I need to read it again.
And then you need to
And then I need to pour myself a cup of coffee, and then I need to read it again.
And then a glass of wine.
You know, yeah, because some things just need to sit with you.
But I was floored. It's just such an intimate memoir between the narrator and their mother, and it just really talks about growing up in Mississippi. And Kiersey sort of just takes us through this almost ethereal journey where he's talking about his relationship to his body. He's talking about brown and black bodies on a more global perspective, talking about sexual assault and sexual trauma, and just really talking about how to love himself and how he really finds his identity and how he sort of navigates all of these really like racially nuanced lanes, I would say. And it was one of the best reads. Yeah, and I actually had the pleasure of working with him.
No way!
Yes, I did.
No!
Some years ago, but he came to lead a workshop during undergrad for me, and it was just phenomenal, and he's all over. He's written articles for The Atlantic, I'm always seeing him, and he was a faculty member at VONA, which is another literary conference.
Right.
It's in Florida, and it's specifically for people of color. He was a faculty member there. He was a distinguished author, I think, at Iowa. Like, he's just been everywhere. So he currently teaches at University of Mississippi, I believe, for fiction.
You know what just blows me away? When you were describing what you like to write.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like 3 things that are just so extraordinary about the whole thing. I mean, first of all, women writing in general. Before we even get to the topics, which are, you know, who could write about things, you know, but women writing in general, you know, it wasn't that long ago that women were using men's pen names or else they couldn't get published. You know, I mean, let's be honest. It was not that long ago that we had to all disguise who we were. You know, even women who, like a J.K. Rowling, who are using initials to make sure their books get published. It's not that long ago. So sitting here with women authors is just, you know, amazing, because it really is. And women of color. You're talking about women of color, and to be able to address those issues. You know, we've had like a Maya Angelou or people, you know, over the years, but few and far between. Not enough to be able to really get the perspective. You know, they're fabulous writers, but it was a more literary approach. And now to bring it into the creative nonfiction, to really discuss, and what, you know, what's so wonderful, you know, our country is in chaos, but what's great about the chaos is that people are realizing that they need to be informed. And I think that that is such a blessing that people are reading, that political books and Michelle's book and everything else are selling off the charts, because people are coming to realize that they need to read. So the fact that women are writing, we won't even discuss how excited I am, how many women were just elected into Congress this past term. Fantastic. Women of color are writing and getting elected into Congress, I might add. And then the topics that you're rattling off, and you know, you could say, God, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that you couldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Right. I'm so glad that I'm able to.
And you're
now.
sitting here, and it's like, and that's why I said I'm looking at you, and it's all three pieces.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited for you to be at this cusp. And I grieve for the women who over the years wanted to be right where you are, because over the years there have been plenty of women and women of color and people who wanted to write about issues that they just.
Yeah, that's really real.
It's really, really real. It's really real today.
It's still happening. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
still happening.
I mean, we're in New York. You know, but it's really real today.
Yeah.
And I'm just in awe of you, and you are just, you know, at the right, sometimes things align.
Sometimes they
And
do.
you are in the right place at the right time, and all the stars are aligning, and you are walking forward with this, and it's something that, you know, not that long ago, you wouldn't even be able to think about.
Right.
You know, I had an author on, certainly older than you, and she was talking about the fact that, you know, when her mom came over to this country, they basically had two choices. You were getting married, or you were going to enter the convent. You know, like, you had no choice. And if you were going to get a job, it was teacher or nurse. Now, I have in my family many teachers and nurses and think those are unbelievably fabulous career choices, but I'd like there to be more than just two. You know, nursing is, I can't even put on a Band-Aid, really. we don't want me nursing. So for you to be sitting here as a young woman of color, who is walking into this, and you know what? The sky is the limit for topic.
Yes, yes.
Which is such a gift for you.
topics,
You know, whereas it wasn't. You know, so now you finally have some people that you can read.
Yes, all
You know,
the time.
you're far enough back that you're not the first.
Yes.
You actually can have influences and read people, and you have people who are just ahead of you so that they can guide you, which is fabulous, and mentor you and teach you in all these places, and they tread that path, and you're just walking down it. You're just walking down it. That's fabulous. And I was also thinking as you're speaking, you know, I know you're applying to colleges for your MFA right now, and you know, looking at those college applications, it used to be fiction and nonfiction, and now they call it creative nonfiction. Now, can you describe that a little bit for our viewers? Because I was intrigued by that, and I love that.
Yeah,
I love the way that sounds.
It can be so many different things. But
Yeah.
to me, it can be reportage, it can be memoir, it can be even doing like autobiographical fiction. So sort of combining fictional elements, but telling a real, truthful story through that medium.
Yeah.
It can be
Yeah, like
literary
nonfiction used to mean
criticism.
dry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
nonfiction
so-
used to mean like a manual.
Right.
And now it means
No,
this
it's
creative
expanded.
expression. Exactly.
It's really versatile right now, and I
It is.
love it for that.
It is. Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing. You know, it used to be that if you were a nonfiction writer, you were just writing dictionaries and manuals
Right.
and stuff. And now you're writing all these things you're mentioning. That's why I said creative nonfiction is the new buzzword for it. And it's
And I love it because I don't feel boxed in. I'm a big genre bender. So a lot of my work does oftentimes, I've heard as a critique, reads as fiction. And I
Genre
love,
bender,
yeah,
did you hear
I love
that?
that I'm able to sort of coalesce all of these wonderful hallmarks of these genres and really just produce something that screams on the page. So it's really awesome.
screams on the
Yeah.
page. She speaks like a writer.
I like the challenge.
She
So
does. She speaks like a writer. Screams
awesome.
on the page.
Yes, it's really cool for me to gender bend and to sort of play and to sort of break barriers and decolonize what's been told to me as actual nonfiction or not. Like I get to decide that now, and I get to break those barriers now, and I get to say what it is and what is not.
Must
So
be
that's
nice
really
to
cool.
be young.
You don't need to be young
It's
to do
great
it.
to be
I encourage
young.
you all to do that.
It is.
Decolonize.
No, you're right.
Yes.
And Alma says the same thing. You know, we're sitting here and I'm like, "Ugh, must be nice to be young. You know what? We are what we think we are.
Yes.
Right.
We are, and we can do what we
Never
want
too
to
old
do.
do what you want to do.
We can
Yes.
do what we want. I don't know if I could wear those cute socks though, but everything else we could do what we want to do. So we should never feel too old. But that's so, yeah.
Super invigorating.
Yeah. Now tell me a little bit about, you know, where people, you know, I was mentioning how audiobooks are in, and, you know, people are reading more of this, and, you know, are your types of things going out in books? Are they going out in publications? Are they going out in blogs? Are they going out, like, where?
So far, I've not published anything. I've been really going to a lot of literary conferences and
Okay.
programs. So
Getting your feet wet?
yeah,
You want
so
to
I've been applying
scout it
to
out?
those, yeah,
Okay.
and just curating manuscripts for those, and
Okay.
they've been wonderful. But I really like to read, usually like short. Like I love Pank. I love brevity. I don't know if these ring a bell for folks, but I love like concise journals of literary nonfiction.
Right.
Pank is one of my favorites. Big.
Take notes.
Yeah, big genre bending. Really cool. Really breaks boundaries. And just looking for like, again, like writing that challenges normativity. And so I love like small sort of local websites and journals.
Okay,
so
you're
those-
going to send me so I
Yes,
can
I'm
put...
going to send you. I haven't got to the book realm yet. but
Okay.
I'm more of a shorter writer, so I really like flash pieces.
Okay.
But I would love to sort of one day, hopefully, in my MFA
Oh, you
program,
will.
am
I have no
possible?
doubt that you will.
Sending out good energy, please.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that you will.
You know, I can sort of work on that and
Yeah.
produce something that's lengthier. Yeah.
Now, when you say shorter pieces, like, are we talking, you know...
750 words.
Okay.
So about like 3 pages.
Okay.
So I'm a person that likes to pack a lot of punch in a few sentences.
Okay.
But
and
yeah.
you know, with all due respect to our society, we have a very short attention span.
that
No,
too,
really?
actually, that too.
I know I can't watch a movie anymore. You know, it's just too much.
That's a really good point.
So there's something to be
benefit
said.
of Flash,
You know,
yeah.
a lot of our authors, even fiction authors, are writing in those very short chapters to go with the
Right.
fact that people have a very short attention span. And it's interesting because I had an author on recently who deliberately made the choice to write like a 200-page chapter. You know, like he just didn't have chapter breaks. And the reason was he didn't want to pander to that, and the characters in the book were going through hell. And hell didn't end. You know, and I got that because I couldn't
book
put the darn, I was looking, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's always 1 o'clock in the morning in my life. And I was looking for the end of a chapter. I was reading the book before this author was going to be on because I wanted to put my bookmark in and go to bed. And there was no end to the chapter. And first I was like, darn author, could they put an end to this chapter? And then it kind of light bulb momented for me. And I said, oh, it's a technique because this person is going through hell. And their personal hell did not lift for 200 pages. And he wanted me, the reader, to feel that. And I was like, wow, good for you. Sucks at 1 o'clock in the morning, but good for you. So, you know, you're talking about, you know, genre bending and whatnot, and there's place you're doing these bang, flash, boom, you know, I said it and I'm like, whoa, the 3 pages of I need to.
Yeah, and there's a lot of nuance, you know.
Exactly, and then there's a place for everything. There's a place for the lengthier thing, but you know, those flash pieces sometimes are the ones that really.
Yeah,
especially when they always say, you know, they should always keep them wanting more.
Right. Sometimes that usually happens.
Yeah, so when you read that short one, you're like, whoa.
What's going on?
It's like you just smacked me in the face.
Yeah.
And now I have to, you know, and now there's no more.
No, yeah.
Now I'm left thinking. You made me think.
Yes.
Oh, darn you making me think. I see you. She's going to make us think a lot, this young one in the future. She's going to make us think about a lot of things in the future. I see that. I see the wheels turning.
Yes.
I see her name on the bottom of a book.
Oh,
It's totally going to happen. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to find out what they're reading, besides this fabulous book. But there's more. We'll be right back.
The sun is getting warmer. Oh, when we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border. Oh, when we're floating up like helium.
Me llaman Dan Pablo y hace más de 20 años me enamoré de una colombiana. Viajé a su país y conocí un estilo de café muy distinto, muy especial. Ahora tostamos cafés excelentes, con alturas y microclimas diferentes, resultado en una taza muy compleja y muy rica, un sabor nuevo en el mundo. Fue un éxito. And I even got to keep the girl.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. I am getting my personal autographed copy of Alma's book here, so I can add it to our Between the Covers library. If you come by to our show, and please, if you are in the neighborhood and you would like to come by to our show and join our audience, we would love that. And you can also check out some of our authors' books. We have them at all of our shows, and we would love to share them with you. So come on down. If you go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com and contact me, I can let you know all the details about that and join us in our studio audience. That would be fantastic. So I know you're reading this, or read, or she's up to the 3rd time through. So I know that I have to. I have to read this. But what other things are on your hit parade right now?
I really want to reread. I've skimmed a book called Trans Bodies, Trans Selves.
Okay.
So I really want to read more about the transgender experience.
Now this is written first-person perspective.
No, I think it's actually more more historical nonfiction.
Okay.
But I think that it might have some anecdotes intertwined into it. So I'd love to read that.
So you skimmed just so you could say, I read it.
I skimmed.
It's kind of like we do for school. I read it.
I'm bad. Sometimes I cheat. Like I read quotes.
It's like, let me read the back.
But yeah, I really want to read Trans Bodies, Trans Selves.
She wants to read Michelle Obama's book when the show
I do
is
actually
over.
want to read
I
Michelle
know,
Obama's
that's on my
book.
list.
I'm trying to think what else. Searching for Zion by Emily Roboteau.
Oh.
She is a biracial author.
Okay.
And she's sort of talking about her quest in terms of like finding home and what home means for her.
Okay.
So I actually have the copy. I'd love to actually read it.
Read it. I know
I'm
there's
too
always
stuck
that.
on Kesey Lehman right now.
I know, it's hard. It's hard.
I just recently finished Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was really interesting. Letters. epistolary. Yeah, it's just really
you're
interesting.
reading some interesting
Another
things.
awesome race writer.
Okay. Do me a favor, send me some links to these because I'm
Yeah,
going to put them on
sure.
the website so that
Sure.
our viewers can
Yeah,
click to our website and
sure.
see what you're reading.
But I would just love to read, like, again, like, I really want writers of color and writers of trans or gender nonconforming
Right.
or non-binary.
And they're
experience.
just starting.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so
they're
I
just
want, like,
starting to
all
be
the
out there.
queer writers, all
Call her.
people of color.
Call her.
Please
Send her
come
your
to
books.
me. Please find me. I want you. So
She's
yeah.
got your back. Give her a
Yes.
call. I love
Yes.
that. Do you have
So-
time to read? I know you're in the middle of, in the middle of a new fiction book.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of a couple of projects.
Oh, a
so-
couple of projects.
Yes, I'm in the middle of a couple of projects. As a matter of fact, just Saturday, I'm a part of another anthology called Rebuilding Your Life, and I wrote a story about a 30-year-old who discovers that she has breast cancer, and as she finds the lump and all this stuff, she puts it off, saying, "I'm only 30, it can't be serious," and then it goes through the process of her going and finding out that the lump was cancerous, going through having the lumps removed, and then she rebuilds her life she starts an organization, and it's really like loosely based on a young woman that I met that was 30 years old and diagnosed with cancer. And when she was looking for groups to join, that all of the groups were like older women, and older women have different concerns than younger women. And she felt vain, and she felt like, I should be thankful to be alive, but I've never been married. So I'm thinking about, am I ever going to get married? And, are they going to remove my breast? Is my hair going to fall out? And all those things. So the story is loosely based on that. And I just finished writing that, and I told you that I'm applying to a writing contest. So the book that I was writing is My Funny Valentine, and then I'm doing my own first anthology called My Pain is Silent, and I have some co-authors who are writing with me. So but the book that I actually just read, and I reread it because my daughter got it on my Kindle because she needed it for school. So I read The Color Purple again.
All right.
So I actually the other night was reading the Color Purple because it was downloaded on my Kindle.
I love it.
And I read a lot of inspirational things, and I read the Bible. So when I have
biggest selling book of all time.
Yes, when I have when I really have spare time, I read the Bible. So that gives me my inspiration.
All right.
So but
all right. Well, you've given our viewers tons to think about. I thank you so much for joining us and our fabulous guests. If you want to read something this week, the Bible is the #1 biggest selling book of all time, and Michelle Obama's book is free on Audible.com.
Audible.
Thank you for joining us on Between the Covers TV. Woo!
Whoa!